Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Two Guns. This movie is directed by Balthazar Kormaker, who previously directed Contraband. And the movie stars Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington. Now, since the plot of this movie is a little confusing, I'm going to give you the basic premise. Two undercover cops, Bobby, played by Denzel Washington, and Stig, played by Mark Wahlberg, rob a whole bunch of money from this bank. Well, little do they know that this money inadvertently belongs to Mexican cartel, the U.S. Navy, and one angry Bill Paxton. Watch the movie, you'll understand. And so they have to fight off all of them as well as each other. Now, way back when the first trailer for this movie came out, my first thoughts were, okay, this looks just like the movie Bulletproof with Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler, where one of them betrays the other one at the beginning of the movie, yet they end up working together because they're friends, because they're good at what they do when they're together. Yet they're not friends because they can't trust each other, but they work together to get rid of this big boss bad guy. Yeah, that's pretty much what Two Guns was, but it wasn't as good because this movie was a mess. Let me start with the acting in this movie. Denzel Washington was good in this because he's good at everything that he does, but it's like every once in a while an actor that's a serious actor like him or Tom Hanks, they get tired of doing this serious, Oscar-winning roles, and they just want to do something fun. They want to take a break from all that. This was Denzel Washington's fun movie. This was his out of time, so to speak, where, his character, is smiling a lot and charming, and it's different from a lot of the serious, darker roles that he's played. He gets to wear gold caps in this movie. He gets to wear a goatee. He gets to, clown around and be funny and kid around with Mark Wahlberg as co-star. He doesn't have to give that one performance that makes people go, oh my gosh, Denzel Washington might win an Oscar for this movie. This was his fun movie, his action, his entertaining movie. And then Mark Wahlberg, he was good in this. He wasn't in it, it seemed, as much as Denzel Washington was, but I liked Mark Wahlberg because he was this slick Navy guy that, was a smooth talker to the ladies, and he just was an average guy because sometimes he'd be smart and his things would go flawlessly. Other times he wouldn't be so smart and his things would fail. But the chemistry between the two guys was really good. That was really the only selling part next to a certain character's role in this movie that I'll get to that made the movie enjoyable. As far as the supporting cast goes, they were known faces, but they were too one-dimensional, or they weren't in the movie enough to really let you say, okay, I'll remember that character. There's only one person who did that in the movie, and that's Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton was so good in this movie. I'm so glad he was in this for as long as he was, because the last movie I remembered him in was Haywire, and his role was so insignificant in that movie that it was really good to see him play not only a bad guy, but also a cool bad guy. Bill Paxton had fun, too. He was that better be my $43.125 million in there. He was good. As far as the rest of the cast goes, Paula Patton, the only thing she brought to this movie was she was naked in the scene. That was it, because her character was so small and just so one-dimensional. David James Olmos is the Mexican drug cartel leader. It's like Danny Trejo was absent, so that's why I brought him in there. And then you have James Marsden as the leader of the Navy military guys. His role was just so small. I mean, it could have been played by anybody, really. Now, as far as the mess goes that I was referring to earlier, when you have a movie and they try to throw you a plot twist, okay, one or two is fine. But when you throw in 8 of them and you expect the audience to be surprised, then it just gets a little too convoluted and messy. I mean, the writing in this movie was just really bad because instead of having all these scenes that ended up leading to the same place, they could have cut a whole bunch of them out. They could have gone from point A all the way to point D, not A to B, B to C, C to D, and just made this movie a mess and just pointless at some parts. So, because this movie was a disappointment, but yet Bill Paxton was great and the chemistry between the two lead characters was good, I'm going to give Two Guns a C-. This movie was just too messy, too convoluted, and just too bad. So, till next time, guys, see ya.